speed. This is why I have to do this, because I want to make sure you all could hear me. Now I know I'm muted. Yep, I did know that, and I got myself unmuted. So, welcome everybody. My name is Daniel GreenWolf with Celtic Magic, and welcome to the virtual APAP conference, and welcome to Celtic Magic, our showcase. And the reason why I wanted to do this live, despite everything that could happen, as you could see, is that I wanted to show you a little bit of a sample, not just of our stage show, which we're certainly going to show you a little bit of that tonight, but also I wanted to show you some of our more interactive stuff for the virtual performance. You see, when the pandemic hit us, going back to, back in March, everybody had to kind of scramble for how to create something and create a connection in this virtual space. And thankfully, over the last year, we've really kind of made a really good connection with folks from all around the world to give you folks the best quality possible with our show. And as you can already tell immediately by the way I look, you can tell I'm Puerto Rican. No, I'm kidding. I'm indeed very Irish, and that is what Celtic Magic is all about Irish history and ancient Celtic mythology and Irish American culture. But the thing that I love about my show and the show that we've created, myself and Bella, is that it's a show that you can connect with even if you're not Irish. It's a show that is about a human story. Because the story of the Irish, they came over to America, and all the other aspects in our history and our ideologies is all things that are shared by other people all around the world. And I wanted to share with you right off the bat a piece of magic that means so very much to me. And I wanted to share that with you all. And by the way, while I'm sharing this story, please let me know that you're out there, because we will be using somebody in the chat in just a little bit. So please tell me that you're out there, your name and where you're from and watching tonight. I would greatly appreciate that. But while that's going on, I am going to share with you a story. And it has to do with what's inside this box. Now, inside this box is something that allowed my ancestors to believe in magic. See, the ancient Irish, the Celts, believed in magic. And this was something that helped them do it. It's very simple. All it is this. This is the Wicker Man, a small doll of straw and string and nothing more. This little doll allowed the Celts to believe in magic. Now, it's a very simple story. But once a year on the time of the harvest, all the people would gather around in the center of the village, and they would surround the shaman. Well, they weren't called the shamans. You see, for the Celts, they were known as druids. And the druids, kind of like the medicine men of their tribes, would hold the Wicker Man. And would raise the Wicker Man high into the air, and then slowly, very carefully place it down onto their open palm. And just as now, just as all those centuries ago, nothing happened. It's a free show. What do you expect? Right? Nothing happened at first. But if people truly believed in what they were seeing, if they truly wanted to believe in the magic, then at one point the Wicker Man began to tremble. He began to shake, and then he began to rise. Now, we're so skeptical nowadays. You see, back then they weren't looking for a wire or a magnet or a string, because there wasn't any. I saw you watching out there. But because they wanted to believe. Now, I'm going to ask you to believe in what you're seeing. That is so not my job. But whether you believe or not, you got to admit it makes for a pretty good story. And that is just one of the tales that we tell in our virtual show. When we do our large stage show, of course, we bring in large illusions, and we tell stories all about the ancient Irish, all the way up into Irish, when the Irish came over to America during the Gordomora, the potato famine, which actually you're going to see a piece of in just a minute. And we even tell stories about my own family, growing up in an Irish-American household, and all the silliness that comes from that. But what I wanted to do is show with this how we can connect. Now, with I see we've got a couple of people there in the chat. I see that there are 9 people currently watching the chat, so if a few more people want to throw in their names and where they're from, I would greatly appreciate that. But I see that we've got Meadow up there from Philadelphia. Fantastic. And we also have, looks like, oh, we've got Vanessa from Connecticut. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that. I'm going to make use of somebody here. And you know what? Since you're watching, Vanessa, since you are actually in the chat right now, we can make use of you. That would be greatly appreciative. Just say here if you'd like to help, and that you say you want to help. Just say yes or here in the chats. That way I know that you're watching there. Because I feel like it was fated that you folks would be here tonight. I know that sounds silly, don't I? Understand. But you see, the Celts very much so believed in fate. Very much so. So much so that they had things like these. Now, what you can see here is that these are known as rune sticks. All right? Now, the thing about rune sticks is that they're covered in these symbols, which are known as runes. And these were used by the Celts and the Norse as a form of divination. And so, in fact, the Celts have a whole language known as Ogham, which is different symbols, but very similar to runes in a lot of ways. But they would use these, and they would have bunches of these sticks with all the different runes on them. And that would help, we could tell your fate. It seems a little silly, but I'm going to show you what that looks like. And the rune stick is exactly, as you can see, it's got it on one side there, and on the other side it's got the same runes as well. So, Vanessa, since you're there in the chat, I would like you to do me a favor and just pick a number between 1 and 6. Any number you want, between 1 and 6, go for it, and that is the number that we're going to use. And our story, during the course of our show, we involve multiple people. When we do an interactive show, usually we'll use something like Zoom. We wanted to use YouTube Live tonight because it was the easiest way for people to connect. They didn't have to feel like they were obligated to have their cameras on or anything. But when we do a live show using Zoom or one of the other platforms, we like to bring people up with us, and we see people, we talk to them, and connect with them. If you could, Vanessa, pick a number between 1 and 6, any number, and that would be fantastic. And just write it in the chat so that way I can see it. All right. Oh, we have someone, and she says 3. I like 3. 3 is very good. All right. So I want you to watch very closely here. She has chosen 3. You can see that down there on the screen. I'm going to show you right there. We're going to count up from the top. 1, 2, 3. And what we have right there is the symbol known as Feu. Feu. Now, Feu is the symbol of abundance, and it doesn't matter which side we're looking on. You can see the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, both sides, you would choose Feu, all right? It's the same on both sides. However, there's those who might not believe that this was truly fate. And I understand that. I'm a magician. I don't expect you to believe that it's fate. In fact, maybe you were fated to have it the whole time, because watch very carefully. Because there you go. You were meant to have Feu, because on not just one side, but on the other side, they all are Feu. And it's certainly abundant indeed. So very good. Good job, Vanessa. Nice work. However, there are some people, again, who still don't believe me. They still don't believe that this is the symbol for Feu. Now, you could look it up, of course, but we try to give a little bit of education with our show. So, of course, if I'm going to show you that that's Feu, then I better spell it out for you. And that is how you spell Feu, and that is your fate. Take that with you. Thank you so much, Vanessa, so very much. You were fantastic. And that's just a little bit of a taste of the interactivity that we can have with our shows. Again, when we bring people up for videos, we're doing something through Zoom or something like that, we can have a lot more interaction, talk to the folks, learn about them, and connect with them, because it's really hard to connect and really reach across through a screen. And really the best way to do that is just by talking to folks. However, when there is not an apocalypse going on, we also have our large stage show. And when we do our large stage show, we have a lot of large illusions and all of these beautiful things that we like to do. And what I want to do is give you a little taste of that. So in order to have that taste, I'm going to show you now a quick video that we actually took at Arts Midwest when we did our showcase there back in 2019. Just give you a little taste of what we do for Celtic Magic. So I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. And my family actually came over to America from Ireland during the, of course, war, or the potato famine. And that's where this trunk comes into play. You see, this trunk, which has actually been in our booth 344 the entire time, and will be there tomorrow as well, hint, 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 is actually a replication of the trunks that the Irish immigrants would put everything they owned into when they came over to America. Like my great-great-great-grandfather Clancy, when he came over to America, he had a trunk just like this. Now, I don't expect you to believe me. I didn't believe it myself. But my great-great-grandpa Clancy, he said that, well, this trunk has a terrible story behind it. A lot of the trunks did. You see, the journey over into America from Ireland was a treacherous one. It could take up to 3 months, and so many died from starvation, hypothermia, disease. They weren't exactly in a Carnival cruise line when they came over this country. They were shoulder to shoulder. Thousands of people would go into boats that were meant for hundreds. And some of them were actually victims of these trunks. You see, these trunks would be stacked 6 and 7 high inside the brigands, and when the waves would crash against the rocks, it would hit the trunks, and the trunks would fall to the ground and crush some of the immigrants. But the saddest stories are like the ones that involve my great-great-great-grandpa Clancy. You see, he would sleep inside his trunk, because that was what they do. They'd actually sleep inside their own trunks because there was nowhere to lie down on these ships. They just wanted a place to sleep. And, as did happen sometimes, people would get locked inside their own trunks, suffocate, and die, and their body be thrown out to sea. Well, my great-great-great-grandpa Clancy thought that he was going to suffer this fate because he got locked inside his own trunk. But he said to the day he died that something, the last moment, reached inside the trunk and pulled him out into the light. Through the wood of the box, through the lock. Now, the lock was still locked, the wood was still solid, and there was no one in sight. He believed to the day he died that it was a guardian angel. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I love the idea of it. And I wanted to show you what I thought that looked like. So for what you're about to see, Bella will be playing the role of the unseen spirit. I'll be playing the role of the Irish immigrant. There's a shocker. And we call this guardian angel. Don't blink. It's gonna go fast. Step 1. Take the ginger and put him into a box. I saw you looking, man. Watch it now, all right? Step 2, take the ginger and put him into a bag. In a box. See you later.
He never stops talking.
Why, no. Step 3, make the ginger feel like a sack of potatoes. It is so damp in here, too.
Quiet.
All right, fine. All right. I hear you. You all still out there? Make some noise, let me hear you. Oh, good. And there you go. And look at that. And we are back. Thank you so much for taking a look at that right there. Like I said, that's what we call Guardian Angel. It's a piece that we've been working on for a number of years. We believe in that there's no piece of magic that can't have our own spin on it. I've never been a hat and rabbit kind of a guy, if you've noticed, although I do like myself a good bowler every now and again. But I've never enjoyed being the standard kind of magician. And we're not a standard kind of show. We can do everything from a 30-minute spot all the way up to a full evening 90-minute show with intermission. And like I said, we can do it virtual or we can do it live once the world opens back up again. And we're going to play for you at the end of this our promo video, if you can get a chance to see it at the APAP booth. And I really hope you do get a chance to take a look at that. And also, I'll be around for the rest of the week so you can chat with me and drop me a line. It's been a very, very strange year, I think we can all agree. But as long as we all stay safe and get everything together, I think we're going to do all right. I thank all of you so very much for joining me for this live showcase, a little taste of our virtual show and of our live show. And if you have any questions for me, I'm going to be here for the next couple of minutes. You can ask me in the chat if you have any questions. And as soon as I play our promo video, I'll come back and I'll answer those questions live. So please, by all means, ask me a question. That's what we're here to do. Just ask away. And until then, we'll do this.
Captivating magic, Irish wit, powerful theatre. This is Celtic Magic. For over 20 years, magician Daniel GreenWolf has brought his unique, high-energy style of magic to theatres, fairs, festivals and companies all over the United States. Daniel GreenWolf has been a premier performer at the Wonderground in Las Vegas, Comics at Mohegan Sun Casino, Six Flags New England Amusement Park, and the Eastern State Exposition, one of the largest fairs in the nation. Celtic Magic combines the beauty of Irish history and culture with...
They believed that magic existed in all things. Every story had magic in it. Every word pulsated with an energy that we couldn't tangibly hold but knew existed.
But nevertheless, I would accommodate in a very magical way. So the glass would be over here and the bottle would be over there. Now, even though this front table's pretty impressed, the rest of you haven't drank nearly as much. Man, we're going to ask this question later.
It's now time for you to experience the theatre. Experience the laughter. Experience the astonishment. Experience Celtic Magic.
And we're back. All right. Well, we've got a couple of questions that we're going to answer live. We're going to do right now. And the first question that we got is, what platforms can the show be on? And that's right. And so this show can be on Zoom if we're doing the virtual show. We can do it on Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting. In fact, Remo, which if you've never heard of Remo before, I just kind of started working with today, and it's a fantastic little platform if you do conferences and things like that. But this is all the different platforms. Basically, our setup allows us to work with whatever platform that you have to work with virtually. We will work with you. We have the tech knowledge, we have the skill, and we have the equipment to basically work with anything that you can throw at us. We kind of pride ourselves on that fact. In fact, we have, all right, well, nevertheless, even though Meadow Perry just asked that question, I'm still going to answer it anyway. I always like to say that we are a show that you can bring your kids to, but we are not a kids show. We are definitely good for families of all ages, but we also do a little bit of dangerous stuff in the show. We also talk about the Gordon Moore potato famine, and during that time, you know, 1 million Irish died while 2 million Irish immigrated over to the country. So there are a few heavier themes during the show, but we always try to take them with a lot of sincerity, and hopefully that works out well for the folks who, want to come and see the show. So if folks have no other questions for me, and that's absolutely okay, I thank you all so much for joining us. You can look and visit our booth at APAP. We are Celtic Magic at APAP, or you can go to CelticMagicShow.com, and I look forward to speaking with all of you at some point over the next couple of days and weeks. Please, 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 everyone, stay safe. You're all fantastic for coming out to this tonight. So just let's keep on keeping on, and let's reopen the arts. All right, thank you all so very much. And again, I'll see you all very soon. Well, since you felt the need to ask, Vanessa, is everything Irish themed? What I like to say, for those who are wondering, is that as far as being Irish themed, our show is, we like to have a connective thread. See, I don't like magic shows where it's just like, here's a trick with no meaning, here's a trick with no meaning, here's a trick with no meaning. I don't like any of that. So, as far as having an Irish themed show, yes, everything has the theme of Celtic and Irish heritage, but the theme is the universal theme, the universal story of being proud of our past while evolving and looking towards our future. So that's probably the best way I can answer that. So thank you so much.